All right. Easy day.
All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? As you already know, we've got Andrew Smith Jr. Emphasis on the junior, right?
Yep. Emphasis on the junior.
Got him in here today on Stashed Away Thoughts. Again, joined by JP as usual, wearing an ugly ass New York Rangers apparel. God, I hate when he wears it. It bothers me so much. Anyway, moving on to our actual guest topic of discussion. Andrew, thanks for being here today. I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you for having me, bro.
Oh, dude, absolutely. So, for those that don't know, me and Andrew, we met at Fit for Life. We kind of just got talking. We shared some stories. Kind of clicked a little bit. Actually, yeah, I should probably asked for more than just stories. I probably need like your meal plan. I probably need like your workout program, anything you got going on. Cause hey, dude's killing it in there. But yeah, so we're gonna dive in a little bit, talk about your career and what your goals are moving forward, where you're from, some backstory, and then take us to like your pinnacle of where you were at your peak performance. Maybe something that brought you maybe crashing down, maybe to a hard stop. Or a halt, as some drill instructors would say, right? Or you guys say halt, or no, you don't say halt. We'll get to that too, but yeah, regardless, thanks for being here. So we'll start. Active duty Marine, you joined when?
Yeah, 2013.
Okay, and where are you from?
Nassau, the Bahamas.
Nassau. Am I saying that
Nassau,
right?
the Bahamas.
Nassau.
Yeah, grew up in New York for about 7 years as well, so back and forth, but yeah.
Okay, what part of New York?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like a Brooklyn girl. And that song, that's a song, right? That's a song. JP, don't give me that look. You are actually, and then you were a pulley out of where?
Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Okay, so it's funny that you say that because you are now the second person in a row that we've had from Jersey.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so when you sent the bio to me, I looked at it. JP is also from Jersey. I don't know why we keep doing this to ourselves. But yeah, no, that's cool. So when you joined the Marine Corps, you went to East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
You did MCT just like every one of us.
Yeah.
And then what's your job in the Marine Corps?
3031 food service. I'm a cook by trade.
A cook.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah.
That's legit, dude. Is that what you wanted to be?
Not at first. So, I mean, I had the choice when I finally depped in because it took a while because I came from the Bahamas. My high school diploma had to get translated into like pretty much the grading criteria equivalency had to be evened out. So they were trying to see if the grades in the Bahamas rated for me to have a high school diploma in America. So it finally came through like 9 months later, and then they were like, "Yeah, you can go to boot camp next year." But then my recruiter hit me up. He was like, "Hey, I got this kid that can't do 3 pull-ups, brother. Like, you want to go to boot camp next year, or you want to go in 2 weeks?" And I was like, "Shit, send me in 2 weeks." I was like, "I'm going.
Just a quick
I don't
way
care."
out.
Yeah. So he was like, "Yeah, but you got to change your MOS." And he was a cook as well. I was like, "Well, I mean, I cook now." I was like, might as well like get something out of it, you know. So I was like, screw it. And then I might be able to transition to take it outside of the Marine Corps. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll be a cook. Don't matter.
When you say you were cooking before, was it any comparison to what you cook now? Like, what's like I've actually never met like a cook like legitimately like to sit down and talk with. So like, what's like your daily battle rhythm? Like, what's your normal daily routine?
Well,
obviously depending on rank, because you've been in for a couple of years now,
yeah.
And you're a gunny, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're a gunny. So I guess as a PFC,
yeah.
What were you doing?
Well, back then, now a lot of mess halls are civilian ran, but back then it was we'd have like what's called a 2-watch. So pretty much you'd come in at 04:30, and then you'd cook breakfast, and then you would leave early days 09:30. Late days 12 o'clock because you have shit to do. Obviously you work throughout the day, and then you'd come in the next day. You'd show up at like whenever the chow hall closed for breakfast. So you'd probably show up at like 8 o'clock, and then you're working till pretty much chow hall shuts down. Depends on the day. Sometimes it's a 2100 day, and then if you work lunch and dinner that day, you would come back in that next morning and work breakfast at 04:30, and you do that for like every day straight. So it's like a day and a half. It's like a full half a day, and then a day and a half worth of work like every other day. And then if your schedule lands on, say you cook lunch and dinner on Friday and you work the big meals, what we call it, then you would end up working that Saturday and Sunday. So
damn, every
other week you were Saturday and Sunday. So cook's hours are pretty hefty on your feet back in the day.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And like for what you're cooking, only because I've eaten at Chow Hall, JP's eaten at Chow Hall, you've worked there. How do you become the omelet guy?
Oh,
Like, how do you become like the omelet? Because I feel like those are like the glorified, like, that's your senior lance corporal.
Hell no.
You don't get anybody
That
just
is
making
not.
omelets for anybody.
Nah, you just get thrown to the fire with that one. No pun intended, but
Yeah.
you just get like, hey, you're the junior guy. Hey, you got to learn. And then sometimes the more experienced guys, like I remember when I first time on the grill, I didn't know. I was slow. You know, you ever like been in a chow hall in the line was stupid long, and you're just like, God damn, like this dude's taking forever. I didn't know, so I didn't have a battle rhythm on how like it's weird. Like people don't understand because they're on the other side of the spectrum, but like on the grill, you gotta like stage certain things certain ways. Like if they want an omelet, usually you put it in the middle, scrambled up top, egg white on the bottom. So like you make certain things. So you have your own battle rhythm of when you're making little omelets and stuff for everybody. And then obviously you have your usuals. After a while, you work in a chow hall so long, you see somebody like, I already know what you want, bro. So you just make it real quick.
You're like that. You're the original, and you're gonna sit in that corner over there. That's your spot.
And so I mean, it depends. Sometimes the most junior guy, after a while, when you get the battle rhythm going on, everybody knows what to do. Like sometimes you just volunteer. Like I didn't mind the grill after a while.
What's the hardest thing that you've had to learn to make?
I don't think none of the stuff are really hard. It's just because you literally just follow a recipe card to the T, and then usually your NCOs are right behind you, watching you. If you're a more junior guy, they don't put you on hefty products. Like they'll probably put you on veggies until you learn how to make the big ones. But then if you learn how to bake like the meatloaf days, those are like pretty hectic. If you jacked it up, people are pissed. Like, come on, bro. Like, how you jack up meatloaf, bro? Like
that brings up my next point. Do you take offense when Marines are like, "Yo, I hate the chow hall"? Do you actually take offense to that? Because that's like your job. That's like for me being Motor T.
Yeah.
When they're like, Motor T's lazy as fuck. And I'm like, dude, I know we're working. I know we're busting our ass. That's like for JP, who's an ammo guy, where you just still counting bullets over there. Like that's all I ever thought ammo dudes did.
It's a very thankless MOS. I used to get super butthurt when people used to complain, but then after a while, after doing it for so long, you realize that people are just no matter what, somebody's gonna complain about something because nobody understands. So like now as a staff NCO, like when I was at ITX, my guys were up at 03:30 in the morning making breakfast, and I was up making sure the breakfast is being cooked. So when I call them customers, or when they come in at 06 in the morning, I remember some sergeant walked in and my salad guy didn't have the spoon for the melons. And I was like, hey brother, just wait real quick. The melons are out. The spoon's coming out. And he was like, well, where is it? And I was like, it's coming. And then he like threw my spoon down. I was like, I was about to curse him out. So I walked up to him. I was like, hey bro, like, let me tell you something, man. I was like, my Marines have been up since 03:30 making this goddamn breakfast for you, and you want to freaking have an attitude for some goddamn melons? I was like, yeah, I just woke up like 20 minutes ago to come get freaking breakfast. Like you could chill out, or you can get out, or you can get out.
The sad reality is that Marine was probably admin.
No, he was an infantry guy.
Oh yeah. No, it's always them. If you're the 03 out there, have some fucking decency, all right?
Nah, it's crazy because the 03s are probably more grateful for us than a lot of other MOSs. I think the worst time I've had was, I'm sorry to say it, but with the wing, they were the biggest headache that I've had everywhere I go.
I believe it.
Yeah,
like,
believe it.
I believe
100%.
it.
And I don't know, like I always try to like put my own personal, like I wouldn't say little touch into it because you can't really do that, but I would put my own personal like feelings on the other side. Like if I was eating this, would I want it that way?
Yeah.
So like when I took my Marines to the field, like even with the eggs, like I never liked serving those rock hard freaking eggs that you get in the field. I like, it's a Slayer, but you gotta like, there's a process to make perfectly scrambled eggs, but it's that little thing that you do that goes a long way. And I try to teach my Marines, I was like, look man, like we're not Gordon Ramsay out here. We're just trying to turn this little field chow into gourmet food as best as we can. So like ITX, it was like -5 degrees. We were up 3:30 again. Breakfast was ready for 06, but it took like 30 minutes to thaw out all our gear because everything was frozen. So we had to like turn the gear on, thaw everything out, then get everything starting to cook, and then we had to push out quality meals. And if anybody that worked with me in ITX, like my Marines, they understand like they got bought into my vision of things. Like I get it, it's a thankless MOS, but at the end of the day, this will help me get more of a buy-in to where like when it's time for me to write awards, do certain things for you, like they see it, like they know what we do as cooks. But when growing up, a lot of people, they don't see it on my end because a lot of my staff NCOs are just like, hey, that's just your job, bro. Like do your job and then that's it. But now I'm on the other side. I try to like sell the MOS and try to sell my Marines to the. I'm with the infantry right now, so I try to sell my Marines to them. Like, hey, we're still an asset, man. Like, we're not second class citizens. We're not second class Marines. They're United States Marines too. Issue out MREs and get in the fight if they need to.
Yeah,
So.
no. That brings up that's a really good point because I mean I'm also in one of those MOSs where it's like nobody ever gives a fuck about what Motor T's doing until we're there to pick you up and get you out of shit or fucking take you home.
Yeah.
That's when we're thanked the most. But about your eggs, you said the hard eggs. I always appreciate those ones because if I was in the field, it gave me a challenge for the day. It gave me like something to really work for. I was like, hell yeah, we're starting the day off like let's get going. Let's get on the grind. And then you brought up awards too. I was once in a unit. I'm not going to say this guy's name, but his NAM was pretty much summed up because we were in a certain area and he had put M&Ms in the pancakes. And so they saw that as like that was superior. Have you ever seen anything like that, or have you ever gotten an award where you just did that little bit extra and they're like, that's what made the difference?
I mean, yeah. When you talk about it, like some people will be like, "It's just M&Ms in the pancakes." Like I know it sounds basic, but I mean, he was trying to like do whatever he can to like finesse the food a little bit, make morale a little bit better. Like
But see, I wouldn't have thought about it like that.
I bet you were happy as hell when you got those M&Ms in that pancake. Though.
I actually don't eat pancakes. We won't discuss that. So yeah, we won't discuss. But no, I've never looked at it that way for years until you just said it right now.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here dogging that dude. And just saying, dude, this guy got a NAM for fucking putting M&Ms in pancakes. But
it's the little things you do, man.
It ties back to what you were saying, like adding your little touch of it, like putting that little bit of care into it, or that personality, and that can make the difference. Because it did for our battalion at the time. We were in the middle of nowhere, and our battalion commander was like that changed my whole rhythm. That changed my whole emotion. So
it's not even that; it's having the pride in your job too. Like that shows a little bit of more pride. You know what I mean?
Do you get pride when you count the bullets in twos?
No, I get pride when I'm like, hey, we need this training done, and I get the ammo there in time, correctly.
Oh yeah, that's a big piece.
That is a big deal because like
mortar range, but instead you send 50 cal.
Or if it's like, hey, we're shooting blanks today, and I deliver like live ammo.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Never once.
We had a kid in ITX that dropped like, I think like 2 or 3 freaking boxes when he was driving to one of the ranges, and they like made a big deal. They were like, yo, he was out of, they were down a few rounds, and I was like, yo.
Well, the Marine Corps always looks at money value too.
Yeah, that's
so when you're wasting the Marine Corps' money, like you're now a waste of their time in reality. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. So after your time, being what would you say, 3381?
3381.
3381. So
service.
Damn, I can't believe I remember that. 3381. Actually, question, because we kind of talked about this in our last episode. What's a GT score for a cook?
I don't even know on the top of my head, honestly. That's a recruiter question.
Do you mind sharing your GT score? Do you know it? You don't want to say
I
it?
can't remember my GT score off the top of my head.
Okay.
All I know is my recruiter took me, like I said, he just took me to do my ASVAB score. And
he was like, get you out of here. Okay.
Hey, man, I'm here now. That's all that matters. I'm here now. We got
whether it was a 36 or 120, we're here, baby. We're here,
Yeah. I can't remember what top, man. It wasn't the best score, but hey, look, sometimes street smarts and competence goes a long way.
Yep.
Yeah. You can be book smart all you want, but we have those leaders that are like making some of the dumbest decisions. I'm like, how do you have a bachelor's degree? But then you're thinking like, this is okay. This makes sense. That doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah.
So.
All right. So after your time, 3381, some awards, some traveling, some different units, and then you went and became a what? I want you to say, because then I want you to look JP right in the face when you say this.
Dude, I don't have a problem with DIs.
Whoa, you're exposing it. All right.
Yeah, I went to the drill field after
a
few packages. I finally was able to go to the drill field. Went over to San Diego Delta Company from 2019.
First battalion, baby.
Do you have the tattoo for it? You do?
You got me.
Yeah, but why are you upset about it? That is like
I do. I know. It's just hilarious.
That's a cult.
So I had a buddy of mine.
Every picture in every group, it's all of the eyes, like, straightforward out.
Yeah.
I got a buddy of mine, shout out to Gary Leo. So my boy, I deployed with a buddy of mine named Shan. Me, Shan, and our buddy Tribble. We were pretty tight on deployment, and then when we came back...
Where'd you deploy to, if you don't mind me asking?
We're in Bahrain. I was with security forces at the time, so we just protected Issa Air Base.
Yep.
For about, Special Forces MACTAF. But So yeah, me and my boy Shannon Trouble, we after we came back from deployment, we got back like 2 weeks before our ball. So the week of our ball, we just spent a whole week just partying, having fun, just being young, dumb, and stupid, just spending our
Oh yeah.
freaking
You don't
deployment
gotta
money.
explain to us. We
Yeah.
get it.
So we were in Cali too. So we got like drunk as hell at this margarita spot, and then we were like, bro, DJ Khaled, I Got the Keys was our song at the time. So me and my boys were like, yo, we're gonna get matching tattoos with keys on it. So I have a key tattoo with me and my boys, and then
Just a key.
yeah, just a key, because it was just random. We were just drunk, and we were like, yo, we're gonna get matching tattoos.
Are all the
of,
keys
like,
the same?
Keys, yeah. I tried to put mine in yellow, but I have too much melanin, so I couldn't get yellow. So the dude was like, "You're not. The yellow doesn't matter, bro.
Oh
It's
my
not gonna
God.
pop." But on the drill field, because we were talking about tattoos, on the drill field, my boy Leo was laughing at me because he was like, I told him that story, and he was like, "Bro, you like, why would you? Who gets another grown ass tattoo? Another grown ass man?" And I grabbed his hand and I was like, "Hey, brother." Don't you be having tattoos?
Yeah.
I was like, look how stupid you sound.
So how long do you have to wait to actually get that? Because in my mind, like, I have tattoos from like nicknames I've gotten from the Marine Corps, like across
Yeah.
my stomach. I've gotten some things like that dedicated to like teams that I've been on. So like I have like this pig here, and that was when I was a motor T instructor. We call all our students swine. So we got like the dead pig and like the Echo brand on the ass cheek. But so like small things like that. So but for drill instructors though, like,
That tattoo is like that's like a rite of passage.
that's what I was getting at. Like,
Yeah.
not every motor T cat is gonna have something motor T related.
Yeah.
But every drill instructor, usually all the ones I've met, including some of my buddies, have the shield or the emblem of their company on them. So
it's typically a traditional thing. Some people, I guess, it depends on the company and the era that you were at the time, because like this isn't the usual DI tattoo that we normally have. It's just my classmates at the time and the guys that grew up at Delta. We decided to get the #1 tattoo, the first battalion like symbol, and then the hat. Other guys have the OG stamped on them, but it depends on the era. But honestly, like, as some dudes get it at the end of their cycle when they know like they finally made it to senior drone sugar. I think for us, for Delta, it was like you had to be in a J, or they call it a heavy in Parasalon, and you pass final drill. And then after you pass final drill, because your recruits back, because that's usually you slay yourself the entire time, just teaching drill, and you make sure. And once you pass final drill officially, when the kids get up north, then normally that's when like the J's would go and get their friggin' hat stamp. I can't remember when I got mine. I think I got mine after my first J cycle, and then I was on outpost at the time.
But see, for as much as it was for you to be like, you got me, like, dude, I see tattoos to me, like one of our ads for our podcast is called Mad Rabbit, and they're an aftercare for tattoo company. And
Not just for tattoos.
yeah, not just for tattoos. They actually do body washes, body soaps. They do lotions. They do sunscreen. They do a bunch of stuff, all organic, healthy stuff. But anyway, shout out to them. I guess I'll slide that in there. No, but I take so much pride when people have tattoos that tattoos were never for somebody else.
Yeah.
They're always for you and what you share in that moment. So like, as much as you're sitting there like, you got me, like, that's legit to me.
Yeah.
All my tattoos mean something on me. I was just like, damn, you always get the hat stamp in there. But like every single tattoo has always, like, my whole left side is all dedicated to family, and then my right side has like little things that I like. So
Just
my left
recruit souls.
hell no. Them kids ain't never going on.
He actually didn't use. He actually used tears. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's so cool, man. So so you were a hat from, you said 19 to 22, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Which do you have the cycle, like maybe the number that in your mind you were like, I was absolutely slayed, like I was a zombie. I was just running around doing my thing. Was that in your very first cycle? Because I've always heard from hats, JP, you might be able to touch on this, like they say your first cycle you'll never forget because you're just moving at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my first cycle was pretty.
I guess what I should ask, how did you make it to senior?
Yeah.
Were you a chief as well?
No, I just did 3 senior cycles.
Okay.
So.
No, that's legit though, man. That I remember. My senior drill instructor. Shout out to Master Guns Kelly. Now, he was my senior when he was a staff sergeant. I'm still scared of him. And he even sat us down and did like the dad time. Still scared of him. Still scared of my heavy. Haven't bumped into him yet. Don't plan on it. I bumped into one of my drill instructors and I had I think I had sand in my mouth, whether I wanted it or not. Because like first day for me, boot camp, I smiled at my drill instructor.
Oh my god.
Chiclets out and all like that. And he asked me, he was like, "Hey, bitch, where you from?" And I was like, Levittown, Pennsylvania. It's like right outside Philly. Like about to have a conversation. He was like, "Hey, drop your blouse." I was like, "What's a blouse? You mean like a blouse to me sounds like a female's shirt." Because I grew up with a single mom, and she'd be like, "Oh, I wash my blouse." Like, I'm thinking a blouse is like a woman's top, and I was like, "A blouse," and he was like, "Blouse," and I was like, "Blouse," and he was like, "Bitch," and I was like, "I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna go outside now." And then he made me literally do some things in the pit. But yeah, I could still feel this. Yeah, I was probably trained. I was probably trained. Yeah. I got one-on-one time with my favorite drill instructor. Yeah, absolutely. No, so do you do you know the cycle where you were slayed the most?
I'll probably say my first cycle, honestly, because you don't know. Like, you don't know. So you're just trying to figure stuff out. Then you're trying to figure out your team. Then you're trying to figure out how to be a drill instructor, like what works for you. Like, I think about some of the stuff I did, I was just like, damn, I was stupid. Like, why would I do that? But now and then, just after a while, it's all repetitive, and the cycles kind of merge into one another. But like, yeah, my first cycle was just like, you were just trying to figure out what to do, and then like you went home and your team sent you home. So it was kind of like, I remember me again, my boy Leo, that dude, man. Shout out to Gary Leo again. But like, me and him went through it. We did all our cycles together, but I remember days where we'd be like, "Hey, bro, like, you think you're going home today?" But like, "Hey, what's today?" And he's like, "I went home like last Thursday." Oh, he's like, "What's today? Tuesday?" They might send me home today. And like, think about it now. I was like, "Bro, you've been home in like a week, bro." Like,
that's wild.
What the fuck? But hey, it's so you like for us, it's just so you knew the cycles. Yeah. So you knew you got to know. The value behind it is just understanding the cycle. The faster you learn, the faster your asset to your team. And a lot of new drill instructors nowadays, like I wouldn't say nowadays, I'm not there. Everything is different.
Yeah, but you are. You did yours. You have the tap to prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got your authenticity stamp.
Yeah. But you just learn the cycle. That's all. It's just like when you're a cook. So I can relate it back to being a cook again. It's just, so we used to have a 21-day menu, to where you had to understand what each menu was. So when you were given like one of those big products, you don't know how to make it. Somebody has to micromanage you the entire time. So it's kind of
okay.
So a lot of cooks, they tell you like cooks go to a drill field. They're kind of like they're already like bodies already used to the things, because you're up at 4:30 in the morning. Lights is at 4:30, so you're kind of used to it. You're on your feet all day, so you're kind of used to being on your feet all day.
That's legit.
And then like only thing is you're just not running and screaming, but you're up, you're cooking. You sit down for 30 minutes before the meal.
Strict agenda to follow.
Yeah,
everything. Timelines to meet.
Yep, and then Mongolian days, where like I remember being on a Mongolian grill, and it's 2 hours straight. You're just standing there, just making Mongolian for people. The grill will get back,
no quit.
Scrub it.
Yeah,
it's just
quit.
Constantly going. So minus the freaking constant cardio, you're still on your feet. You're still doing continuous hours. So physically, on like feet wise, and then timeline wise, you kind of get used to it.
Do you think when you were because we'll talk in a little bit about you being a bodybuilder and your journey through that and physical fitness and all. But for being a drill instructor, do you think you were at your peak physical fitness for what you had to do, or do you think it is a little overkill?
Nah, your body gets used to it.
Yeah, your
body will understand what you got going on, especially after a while. Your body's gonna be like, all right, bro, here we go. And then I remember one time, like when I was at J, my second cycle, my fifth at, he was with me. He was just like,
What's that?
So you have, I had a 5 team. So my fifth hat. So you have your fourth hat, who's a kill hat, and then there's another drill instructor they probably threw him on your team.
The Nick, right?
Yeah, they threw him on your team, like the low end guy. But usually my goal was to, hey, like I teach as a green belt, I teach my younger green belts how to be a drill instructor. So I never liked the whole like, oh, go do this, and like they just turn up for 2 minutes and then they be like, that's what you do, and then they walk away, and I'm like, nah, brother, like I'm gonna show you how to be a drill instructor. So
yeah, that's legit.
Like, you're a green belt, I'm a green belt, I'm gonna teach you. This is my expectations of you. So anytime I had duty nights, he would stay with me, and it's funny because he'll be like, one day he came up to me, he's like, hey Jay, I don't know if you noticed, but we don't even eat until after lights. And I was like, what do you mean we don't eat till after lights? And then he was like, yeah, like we don't never sit down and like have food until after the recruits go to bed. And like usually it's like a honey bun or something. I'll send him to go to the PX, or like I'll go to the PX and get like something quick for my team. But then he was like, bro, I just noticed it. Like we would just snack, but we never had like a solid meal. And I was like, holy crap. Like,
Damn.
my bad, bro. I was like, because that's just me even
malnourished
now.
as shit.
Just even now, but my body got used to it.
Is that why you guys have a recruit steal the peanut butter?
Nah.
No. Yeah. You're like, hey, that's gonna be our snack, baby.
Nah.
Hey, portholes, right? Like, yeah. Damn. All right. So actually,
bro.
speaking of portholes, because for some of our viewers that are not military, actually, it's surprising. Portholes is for the kids that wear glasses
All
on
the
their
glasses.
face, right?
Yeah.
What did you? For as much as you want to say, because again, to remind everybody, myself, JP, and Andrew here, we're not direct reflections of the DoD. Everything that we say is not in the exact realm of what the DoD believes is correct or incorrect. But again, this is off of personal experience and opinion. So moving forward, did you have like a word that no matter what, it was coming out of your mouth?
Yeah, there was a few, but you know, I'm gonna just keep it there.
What was like a semi decent one for the audience? Or like what was a command that you felt like you could put real emphasis behind? Like you love saying it, even if it was like run. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry for doing a horrible drill field. I'm trying, but my mustache gets in the way. Because you guys don't have these either on the drill field.
Hell no.
Yeah. You look at this and you're like,
We had one.
He's disgusted
We
by
had
it.
one guy on quota try to do it, and like
No,
the
he
whole
didn't.
people heard
No.
about him, and they were just like, "You need to shave that." And then everybody was getting on him about it. He finally shaved it off, but it was funny because like it was like.
Is
but
it really
it's
that
crazy.
frowned upon?
It's crazy because if you look at back in the day, like 80s, 90s drone shookers, some of them
Oh.
had mustaches.
Yep.
It's just on the era that you were at. Like at
Yeah.
the time, it just mustaches weren't professional at the point, so
So I
they
guess
look professional.
going back to that before the mustache. But actually, what I'll offer you real quick is I actually usually for like some of our guests that don't have mustaches, would you like a fake one? Or do you not want to float?
Nah, I'm not wearing no fake mustaches.
Yeah. 'Cause, we went and got fake ones, like
For
a whole
real?
pack of like 60, so that people wanted to feel a part of like Stash Away Thoughts.
Stash Away Thoughts.
But I figured if you were a drone starter, you were probably like, nah, dude, that ain't me. But okay, so yeah, did you have like a command where you would put that drone starter voice really behind it? Like, was it like ready, move, or like what were some of the commands that you had? Because again, this is for like our viewers that don't know shit about the Marine Corps. Believe it or not, we have some. We have some that are doctors.
Yeah.
We have some that are psychologists because again, our podcast is driven for like mental health and awareness and stuff like that. But more so just the fun communication. So, yeah. Did you have anything that was like I'm trying to get you to send a little bit of a shiver down my spine right now. I'm trying to feel a little like scared.
I kind of let that behind me. I try to let it go a little bit. Only sometimes it'll pop back out. But little bitch did slip out my mouth a lot.
Hey,
like it wasn't.
That's
a thing though.
Yeah, it's just I get so irritated, and I'm just like, bitch, what the fuck? Man? Like I fucking told you. Like sometimes recruits are just like they're like that little brother that's just there. Like I'm not touching you, because you tell them like stop doing this, or like I wouldn't say that little brother, but that little kid. That's just constantly taunting you, and you know you can't do nothing to him.
Yeah.
Like physically.
Is that why you don't have kids? Because in your the little bio you sent me, you said, XX years old, no wife, no kids. Is that because you think about that kid like, oh, dad?
Nah.
Dad, you're just going to be like,
Nah.
bitch.
Nah, I think, I don't know. The way I am with my dog, I'm pretty sure when it's time to do have kids, I'm probably going to be a soft-ass dad. Especially if it's a little girl, man. My little dog, I'm telling you, my dog got clothes. My little Frenchie is spoiled, man.
A French bulldog?
Yeah, I got a little French bulldog, Bella. I should have bought her, but
Oh, dude, you totally could have. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have 4 daughters.
I have 2.
So and he has 2. So we get that. That does change. Yeah, certainly, because I'm not gonna look at my daughter and be like, bitch.
Yeah.
No, that's funny. That's cool. Do you have a favorite recruit of all time? Like you have one that sticks out forever. Like whenever anybody's like, "Oh, you were a hat," and it's almost like that's so Raven. You go into like that vision mode.
No.
Whether it was your favorite for the right reason or wrong reason.
A lot of kids merge in, but I had one kid. I'll tell a story. Can we get off the drum sugar topic after this though?
Yeah.
All right. So recruit Fisher, he was I call him my Rosetta Stone recruit because he didn't speak. His English wasn't his first language, and he was really, really struggling. So my hats were always like on his ass, bro, just like fucking him up because he was just moving so slow.
Was this when you were a senior?
No. This was my last green belt cycle.
Okay.
So this is my one honor platoon cycle, by the way. But that was the best team. That was my best cycle ever. But this kid recruit Fisher. So I forgot what we did, but I put a kid that spoke Spanish next to him to help him with drill, and like even like I'd be like, Fisher, get the fuck over here. I'm like, izquierdo, like left shoulder arms. Goddamn, like figure it the fuck out. And so he had the kid like teaching him like, hey, aquí, like showing him how to do left shoulder arms. But he pissed me off one day, and I was like, fuck this, man. I don't care about drill. I want to just fuck this kid up. I just saw IT in him and shit, and then we left the parade deck, went back in the house, and Fisher is like distraught. And then he's all crying and shit because he's mad because I disappointed him. He went and talked to my senior. My senior sent him back to go, like, I guess apologize to me. I was like, I don't know why he's got this kid coming to talk to me. But, like, he pounds the pine, and then he goes, good morning, gentlemen. Recruit Fisher. Request submission to speak to it's Smith, sir. And all my other green belts are like, it's drill instructor Staff Sergeant Smith. The fuck back outside. And then he got destroyed again. And then my senior grabbed him, was like, brother, like, let this kid go. I was like, man, fuck that kid, man. But yeah, English wasn't his first language, but it was like this kid just was not getting it. Like I even gave him the chance to like, I put somebody next to him to like physically see a different way to learn. I talked to my senior. I was like, you speak Spanish. Talk to this kid, man. Like he's just not getting it. I've had Spanish recruits before, but this kid is just like not understanding the language barrier and the like visual barrier. And it was just like, bro, you got to get to this kid somehow.
Yeah, that's got to be so difficult too. Last question. I know you said move on. And you know, this is just yes or no. Have you seen any of your recruits since coming back to the
I've seen a lot.
Yeah. And is it like, do they see you, and the minute you lock eyes, they're like, fuck.
They turn around?
Yeah.
The initial, then they realize, like, hey, that's just not me anymore. Like, I actually just promoted one of my recruits on Monday.
Oh, that's legit.
Yeah, he found me on Instagram. He's like, hey, can you come promote me on the June?
That's awesome.
Because even after being a schoolhouse instructor, I see my degenerate things all the time out in the open. And like I've had some of them come up to me in the gym. I've been privileged and honored enough to be asked to promote Marines that were my students. And I have one student right now that's actually going to OCS in January.
Hell yeah,
and she's a badass. And I'm like, dude, that's legit. I've gotten to watch you from like the beginning of time to like where you're at now as being a sergeant, and now you're getting ready to go to OCS. That's dope.
Yeah, that's gotta be the greatest thing. Like as a schoolhouse instructor or as a DI, like seeing kids like grow up and like. That's what's rewarding about it. It's
Just instructor in general, because like when you were talking about like one of my Marines, like Hilton.
Yep.
Like we were actually ended up working together twice. We were in Miramar together. Then I helped teach her. I taught her gray belt and green belts and MAI. I taught a lot of students in Okinawa, so people would still come up to me like, "Yo, remember you were my black belt? Like you taught me black belt." Or like I was Corpus Coast instructor, but like, "Yo, you were my instructor in Oki," and I was like, "Damn, man, that's cool." Like to see you now, like move on. So I think any instructor status is like rewarding, especially. If they were a turd or if they were really good, you'd be like, thank God. Like,
it is a really legit feeling. Like I had a student come up to me and was like, you definitely don't know me. You were actually my guest speaker for our graduating class.
Oh, yeah,
and I was like, and they were like, and I never forgot what you said. And this kid got tattooed on him exactly what I said at the end. And it said, stay humble, stay hungry. And he's like, I got that tattooed on me because I truly took what you told us. And now you're here in person. And you're just a cool ass dude like I thought you were gonna be. So no, that is definitely rewarding. So, all right, transitioning away from your time on the drill field. So now you're back in the fleet.
Yep.
You're back on your grind, and you work where now?
I'm at Victor 28.
Okay,
I'm
nice.
June, so I'm balancing that, and I just graduated my enlisted aid course. So it's another side of food service that people don't really know about. So pretty much I'm about to go to advanced culinary school so I can cook for the commanding generals.
Okay.
So I'm gonna what we call the break it down as a commandant's cooking team. So the commandant has a list of 3381s of Marines that jump into his pool, and then you get divvied out. So some commanding generals, they rate their own cooks to help them like make their lives a little bit easier because they're working like 18-hour schedules that are on strict timelines.
Yeah,
and
but
they
what
don't have
about
time.
us on duty? No, I'm just kidding.
The wife.
Yeah. No, that's legit. So, and you said you just completed that course, or you're getting ready to jump?
Yeah, so I just completed an enlisted aid course. And I'm about to go off to advanced culinary school.
And then, so then, what happens after that when you get back?
So my unit is set to go on UDP, so we're gonna go OPSEC.
We love
Obviously,
that.
not when. I'm not gonna tell you when we go OPSEC.
Yeah.
OPSEC, baby.
Purple Dragon.
But yeah, we're set to go on UDP, so we're just gonna be out there, and then when I get back, hopefully I get hired by a general, and then I'll be working for the.
Do you have a certain location you want to go? Because I know there's like generals, like there's like the Mar 4 Pack 1 in Hawaii.
I'm big on like just growing where I'm planted, but honestly, I just bought my house like 2 years ago out here, so I was hoping like maybe I could work for somebody here, stay local for a little bit until build some equity on my house.
You
know,
should come
do
out
some
to
stuff.
our general.
So
Yeah, you should come out to our general.
I don't know if he rates a personal chef.
He's at Marsoc. I am sure he probably has a personal trainer. He could do both. He could be the personal trainer and the personal chef. 100%. Two birds with one stone. You heard it here first, Marsoc. Get yourself an Andrew Smith, all right? For real. Get yourself one of these.
I have a question for you.
What's
What
Not drill instructor related, right?
No. What advanced culinary school are you going to?
It's the one I'm over at Fort Greg Adams now.
Okay, so it's part of the.
It's like another
part of the
secondary
military.
school. Yeah, it's a part of the military. So it's like a secondary, like an advanced school you can go to. All cooks are able to go, like all 3031s. The problem is a lot of units don't open the opportunities for a lot of cooks to go because they're like, oh, it's not a benefit to the unit, and like it doesn't help. It doesn't help the unit, but it's just like, hey, brother, like this Marine's trying to advance their career, trying to be competitive. Some people don't get SDAs. Maybe having that advanced culinary qualification helps them a little bit step further into their career because they didn't get the chance to go on SDA and they're still eligible for promotion regardless.
That's like our version of getting to go to Wrecker's course.
Yeah.
Like if your unit doesn't rate a Wrecker, more than likely you're not going. The unit only sees it as the benefit side. Like what's the whiff from? What's in it for them? You know, so
Yeah, I didn't know if it was gonna be something like CIA or John Wales.
You have those opportunities too. So
Okay.
there's
CIA,
a lot
what's
of schools.
Culinary Institute of America.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
This is the MOS I wanted to go to in the Marine Corps.
There's a lot of
You wanted
opportunity.
to be a cook,
Yes.
and now you're just cooking up rounds.
I went to culinary school.
What? This is news to me.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot of opportunities. So people always like to make fun of cooks, and like I'm telling them right now, like if you have a good cook that cares about their job and has passion in it, because that's a lot of times because it's a thankless MOS, people grow up like cooks themselves just grow up to be like, man, just screw this. I'm just gonna do my job and move on, and then it's just whatever.
So-
but if you push that drive and passion into them, like, hey, brother, just give a little bit of a damn. It goes a long way because when you're miserable, like Bridgeport was miserable. I never want to do Bridgeport ever again. Like negative 12
I never would
degrees.
do it again.
Negative 12 degrees. The guys up the mountain are hurting. Like we had to push chow up the mountain before it got too dark because it dropped -7 and they couldn't come out their friggin' tents because it was so cold. So
Damn.
like, yeah, when I'm talking about like
Those
I
are
didn't
things I
know
don't
cleaning
even
chemicals
think about.
freeze over. Like,
And that suffers for my community, like Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
Because then when we're transporting the chow as Motor T, actually now I see how exactly why when we missed that chow timeline.
But everybody's always sucked in it. That's the problem. Everybody's
Yeah.
sucked into their bubble and nobody understands their realm of it. Because I had this argument with one of the company commanders and he was like, well, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And I was like, hey, sir, you got to understand, like, I get it. You're up the mountain and you're going through a lot of shit right now. But I'm also working at 50% capabilities right now, trying to get my gear up and running. I was like, I just made you Buffalo Mac. I'm trying to get it up there, and there's no Buffalo Mac on the menu. I had to show my Marines how to put it together. We had mac, we had hot sauce, we had all this cheese. Hey, put that together. Let's teach them how to whip it up real quick.
Good.
I was like, I'm trying to get it up the mountain for you, sir, but you gotta understand, like, the wreckers there's too much snow on the ground. The tractors aren't freaking plowing the deck on time. The VIX can't get up there. My gear is sitting out here getting cold. I'm trying to get it up to you, but you're stuck in your bubble and you're yelling at me. And I get it. But at the same time, like, you got to understand on my side of the spectrum as well. Down the mountain, I'm trying to push it up. But that's the problem. Everybody gets sucked into their own things. So like Motor T's always late. Oh, they suck. This person sucks. And nobody stops and be like, okay, maybe, because sometimes you don't have the time to think about it. Like, maybe they're late because this and this happened. And I learned that just like, honestly, I hate talking about it, but the drill field brought me back into it where sometimes you just got to control your bubble. Like, you get so sucked into everybody else's business and you're like, what is he doing? Why is he this? Why are you pointing the finger? Be like, you know what? I can control what I can control. I can control my hats. I can control my recruits. If I can make friggin' 80-something mini friggin' Staff Sergeant Smiths at a time and one of them do great, then that's what I got.
Yeah.
But even like in the fleet, I push my guys. I'm only one battalion. Other battalions do their thing, but like my Marines, there's a standard for a reason. And no matter what you do, I just try to push and drive to them. Like, just give a crap just a little bit into the MOS. Yes, you're not going to get a pat on the back. Don't expect a pat on the back on the time as a cook. But when that time comes, I will make sure as your staff NCO you get the accolades that you need.
Yeah.
So like, I just try to push that. I try to be the staff NCO I wish I had sometimes.
Yeah,
So.
no, that's legit. One thing I've always lived by is that it's way easier for a king in his castle to yell down at the knights rather than for the knights to be able to yell up to the castle to the king. And that's just something I've always thought of, like, even throughout my Marine Corps career, that I always used to think, like, man, it's so easy for the people up top to just yell down what they need from the knights, the squires, the stable boys, all that stuff, for this throne to be, preserved. That sometimes it's not easy for us to relay to the top, but as you start making those, you become the first knight and you're closer to the king, then you already know what the knights down at the bottom were going through. So that's kind of like where it ties in. You talked about your drive and all that, so now we'll kind of shift gears into your other drive, and that's being a bodybuilder. So that's technically, like I said, how we met in the gym. Yeah, dude. You're killing it from everything I see you doing. You're slaying yourself. You've got that drive. You've got that good mentality, and it speaks volumes. So let's start with how did you get into bodybuilding? Like, what really drove you to it?
As far as competing on stage, I was my sergeant at the time, Sergeant King. He got out, Jonathan King. He did a show, and I went and saw it, and I was looking. I was like, man, I'm pretty lean. I think I can do this. And then he was always like, hey, brother, just go do a show. Get on stage. And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm insecure. Because I joined the Marine Corps. I was super skinny. I was like 130 when I graduated boot camp. I was scrawny.
Yeah, that's
that's like me.
Like I'm
You're
telling
130?
you.
No, I was when I graduated.
I was gonna say there's no way you want that right now.
Dude.
No.
But yeah, man, I was super skinny. Even when I first went to the fleet, like I was so insecure in the gym. I was just like, I'd put like 15 pounds or like 25 pounds, and I'm like putting it, and I think people were like making fun of me or that. My insecurities were super low.
Yeah.
And then one day, I had this buff ass Corporal Bernardo. He Bernard. He took me. I was like, Corporal, like I don't know what to do in the gym. I said, I see you in the galley, and in the back of the chow hall, we call it the galley. I was like, I see you in the galley just doing your thing. You're just big buff white dude, just working out. I was like, can you just show me like what to do in the gym?
And that's what it takes.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
And I literally, he took me to the gym.
Humble pie.
And he was like, sorry to interrupt, but he was
No,
like,
you're good.
he was like, I told him like how I felt insecure. I was like, man, I'm not putting up the weight everybody else is. And he was like, man, fuck them, bro. He's like, eventually your results will show what he said. He's like, I'll slay you with 15 pounds, and eventually you're gonna be that guy where people are gonna be looking at you like, bro, what do you do? And even if you're lifting 15 pounds,
that was me.
Regardless, you look, they're gonna be like, whatever he's doing, he obviously knows what he's doing. Like, forget what they think about it. And then it was back day, and ever since then, back day has been my favorite. And I felt like a machine the next day.
Amen.
And I just kept, like, after that, I just started dedicating myself to the gym, figuring out, like, I had YouTube, like, it was chest day. I had YouTube tutorials, like CT Fletcher, all those dudes, like, looking at their workouts. And then I obviously lower the weight, but I would hit it.
Let's start at 125.
Yeah.
Dumbbells.
Yeah.
That's legit. That's so cool.
But
man.
yeah, but my first show was because of Sergeant King at the time, and I eventually I was in one of the 24-hour fitnesses, and then his coach was in there, and he was just like, hey, my coach is over there, go fucking talk to him. I was like, all right, cool. And he was like, hey, let me see your abs, and like showed me. I was a little, I'm athletically fat is what I call it now, but at the time I was like pretty lean. I was pretty lean.
We're just fat.
Just fat, dude. Put a P on the front of that, dude. I'm cool fat, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, man, he was like, hey, man, just do a show. And I was like, man, fuck it, whatever. So I was like, I'll try it. I'll get on stage. So I did the whole spray tan, and I did did what I could. Got on stage, boogered, took sick, dead last. But I liked the feeling, like, damn, bro, I actually did that. And then I did another show, and then I took like 4th place. And then I did a 3rd show. No, I took 4th and 3rd. So I finally got a trophy. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I enjoyed it. I'll do another show. Did another show. Then I took freaking 2nd and seconds. I took 2nd in novice, 2nd in Ben's open. And then I did a 4th show. And then I took freaking I took 1st place. I took 1st in novice, 1st in open, novice overall. So I had like 3 big ass trophies that time. And then my 5th show, again, took 1st, and then I was like, damn, I'm moving up there, you know,
Yeah.
But the last thing was
It's
like, you
fun when
always
you
wanted
win,
the
baby.
sword, yeah.
It's fun when you
So
win.
you wanted the sword, and there was always that thing like at the time in Cali, like NPC, they give you this huge sword that you always like this Conan the Barbarian ass sword, and I was like, man, I want that sword, and I was like, at the time, my coach. Nothing against him, man. He had a lot of female clients. His wife was mainly she was IV pro. She was the one that did it.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of like, hey brother, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I was like, hey coach, nah man, I kind of need that push. Like I'm at a peak right now. I need something. And then I had another friend of mine. She competed, and she was like, it's your shoulders, bro. Like you need to work on your shoulders. Get yourself like work on your physique on your shoulders a little bit more. And then I ended up switching coach, which is Pete Saccone. It was 619 Fitness. I switched with him, and then he slayed. Even again, he's another dude, just like my corporal. He was like, I'll slay you with your shoulders with lightweight. And 15, 20 pounds, he had me hitting shoulders. And then if you look at the picture I sent you, the last one, with my first coach, and then, like I said, he did his thing. He did what he did was best for me. But when I switched to Pete kind of like pushed me overboard. And then you'll see when I had the sword or when I was on stage how my shoulders capped out. And I was like, damn, this is magic. Like, this weird like things, how does bodybuilding thing work? And then that pushed me, so I ended up winning overall. Finally got the sword. I was happy as hell. I still
Do you
got
have
it
it mounted in your fucking living room?
Oh yeah, I got it mounted in my
room. You carry it around in your car. You just bring it out to like formations and shit. Hey, in case y'all forgot. Just in case y'all forgot.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. So I mean, again, not to bring up the drill sword thing, but now you've carried multiple swords. Right? Yeah. That's legit. That's so cool, man. Damn, because I look at the bodybuilding. Now we'll tie it in. So being a cook, right, and then going through like the Marine Corps, how do you balance your diet? How does that fit in? Because you're a cook, you know what's being served to Marines. You know what your goals are as a bodybuilder. How do you try to make that tie?
Well, between my first and like I would say my first 3 shows. Like I told Marines, like I kind of meal prepped off the chow hall. Like I didn't, my master was strict. Like you obviously, like he was like, no, you're not taking nothing out of the chow hall to like do your bodybuilding thing. He was like, if you bring your own shit, then I'll allow you to use the equipment to cook your stuff, but you're not about to take like chow hall stuff and cook. Or what you can do, since if you go
you're not getting our hard eggs.
Right? But no, pretty much. I mean, because it is, like, it's kind of like stealing from the mess hall. You're not supposed to use it for personal use. So I understood why he said it, because there was times where like I would go out in town, I'd buy my own. I had to buy a lot of my own chicken breasts, and you would think like, oh, man, I'm a fucking cook. I could just go back there, but like, your ass getting NJP for that. So I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. So I still bought what I needed. Whenever there was but I took advantage of like what they were serving on the serving line at the chow hall. Because when you think about it, it's like an all you can eat buffet, but limited to what you can eat.
Yeah.
So there was still chicken breast. There was still a huge salad bar to serve. So I would just like have big ass to go plates, and I'd just eat that with chicken breast, and then that's how I stayed to a strict diet as best as I can. And on top of me buying whatever I needed, plus with me being a cook and my schedule was so busy, I was just kind of saving money at the same time. So money that I wasn't spending was just going towards me prepping for shows and doing stuff like that. So
that's legit. So do you know most of the MRE meals?
Not off the top of my head.
But if you could think of some, what would be the best one to have during like your peak of your bodybuilding?
I don't know. I don't.
Dude, I don't think any.
I don't think any of them are, because they're high.
There's got to be one.
Well, there's high. No, they're not. MREs are not meant for bodybuilding. It's just high in calories. It has a high caloric intake, so
but
you
I
can
meant
be able
like
to
that's
sustain.
the standard Marine.
Yeah.
The Marine that's in the field, he's got MREs coming through. If he wants to maintain or try to make something work, what do you think he's put? Like if he had to build his perfect MRE, what's he got in there? Like, do you know what his main meal would be?
I would say probably the tuna that they have in there, the mac. Buffalo mac will probably help you because it has a lot of pasta and carbohydrates in there. A lot of them are, like I said, a lot of those MREs are high in calories. So the tuna would definitely help you. The buffalo mac would definitely, I would say, help you a lot. A lot of the breads that they have, not the poppy seed pound cake, obviously. Like if you get the, but a lot of MREs are changing now too. So they're trying to help people, like, I guess, stay as healthy as they can. But honestly, for me, I love the cold weather MREs. That was the best part of Bridgeport, was getting cold weather MREs, because they're so high they're high in calories, but it was a lot of like pasta products. You have to pour water inside of them to obviously like reheat it. But the cold weather MREs, I would say, would help you a lot when it comes to like keeping a high caloric intake and like allowing you to sustain as much as you can. But
Oh,
obviously, you
that's
don't get those all the time because they're more expensive. But yeah.
Nice. So where are you at currently in your bodybuilding goals, your journey? Like where are you at?
For right now, I'm pretty much on a seafood diet. I seafood and I eat it.
Damn
That's
right.
just how I go right now.
Damn, we
So,
like that.
That's my life.
We like that.
Certain stipulations. I mean, I try to.
Does that apply to you also being a single male dude? Like single dude? See women?
No,
Hey,
nah, brother, nah.
That's for our lady viewers out there. Man.
Nah,
You heard it here.
there's a standard. There's a standard amongst
Oh,
here.
damn.
So me and my boy got a saying. It was like a man understands the value of a table that he brings because he built it himself. So I kind of understand where I stand in certain things. So I'm like, hey man, like
I like that.
That's
you know,
good.
like
That might be a
you can
quote.
tell me all the time, like I bring this to the table, but I'm like,
dude,
I built the table, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my wife, it's all about the table. I'm gonna fuck that whole quote up. She's gonna be like, the fuck are you
what are you
talking
about?
We're like, no, he said it better. Let me listen to it. He said it awesome. Oh, damn, that's legit, man.
Nah, it's because I know what I cook for myself. I'm my own cook. Like people be like, they be mad at me at work.
What's your best dish that you personally can make?
I would say Rasta pasta. Pretty decent at that.
What goes into that for people that don't know?
It's just a simple pasta. Like
Wait, let me get a pen and paper. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
It's like a pasta mix. I make my Alfredo sauce from scratch. I do a little different tricolored bell peppers, and then chicken breast. I'd probably chop it up. I like to season everything separately, so when you combine the pasta, everything has a different flavor to it. So people don't understand that, so they'll just cook everything in one, and everything tastes the same.
I've been
It's
fucking
like
up.
no, you cook the pasta, then you make the sauce. You make the sauce that you want with the Parmesan cheese, different types of cheese, and then you season up the Alfredo sauce that you want. Then you season up the chicken. So I use the chicken like the jerk seasoning, and I usually I make my own sofrito from scratch. So
What is that?
It's a lot of Hispanics use it, but a lot of our cultures mesh.
It's a
Baby,
Caribbean.
back the fuck off, all right?
it's a
Before you got some fucking comment for me, all right?
It's a Caribbean seasoning.
Yeah, it's
You've
a lot.
had it.
I've had it.
Yes. At the 4th of July party, that pork I made, the pernil,
Pernil? Yeah, he made
The pernil?
pernil. Oh my god.
it has sofrito in it.
You think I remember that?
It's the baseline.
It has sofrito and recaito.
Dude, I can't even roll my R like that.
He couldn't even say NASA.
All right.
Y'all saw.
All right.
But no, man, it's a baseline. So Frito is a baseline that I use pretty much for most of my seasonings, and so it's like cilantro, garlic, bell peppers, onion. You mix it all together. Sometimes I make like a spicy sofrito and I make like a regular sofrito. And then I have these little Chinese jars that I usually like. I say Chinese jars because it reminds me of New York when you buy the Chinese iced tea.
Oh yeah.
So I buy those little containers.
I know what that is.
Yes, I have those, and I usually have them in my deep freezer.
Oh,
and so
nice.
I season up my food with that jerk seasoning. I call it house seasoning. Whatever's in my cupboard, I kind of look at it and be like, these go together, and I pour it in there. I just season with the ancestors.
Damn.
So when they tell me to stop, I stop. And then so I season chicken with that. And then I bring it all together.
Ancestors when
Yeah,
they tell you to
whenever
stop.
they tell me to stop, I stop.
Oh, that's funny as fuck, dude.
So,
As we have more and more guests on this show, I'm starting to realize that I'm not really good at half the things that I think I'm good at.
You think you're good at cooking?
Dude, I make a
Stop.
mean bowl of cereal.
Bro, it's rough for me right now, right? Because Jasmine's, my wife, grandparents are living with us.
Yeah.
And her grandma cannot eat black pepper.
Oh.
It's spicy to her.
what?
Black pepper, barbecue sauce, regular
Stop.
barbecue sauce.
Stop.
I keep my comments.
Yeah, stop
Exactly,
this,
right?
man.
So I cannot cook regular like I
That's
cook.
embarrassing.
And it is, dude, I'm
If
losing
you
it.
think, if you think barbecue sauce is spicy, hey.
Where's your wife from?
She's from Indiana, and her family's all from Indiana. My wife will eat it all day. My wife only eats Hispanic food.
Very well.
I have absolutely turned her. Grandmother, on the other hand, does not.
Oh my
Black
gosh.
pepper is spicy.
So it's yeah.
Dude,
swear to God.
that's because
That
I
is
love
wild.
I love hot food.
You're out there eating air seasoned chicken.
Yep.
Oh, dude. See, I
That
love
is
hot
wild.
food. Like anything that's gonna really fucking light me up, I'm about. I like the shit that gets in my gums. That I'm like, I might not have teeth after this. But I'm about it. I sometimes I go around and I'll try like the wing challenges at places. I did the Buffalo Wild Wings one.
Oh, I love spicy.
Yeah, I did the Buffalo Wild Wing challenge back in 2012, and I ate all 12 wings in a minute. The blazing wings.
I've done it at the Fort Lee Buffalo Wild Wings, the one right in front of the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I also did one. There's in Fakeway Arena out here. You go to Aviator Brewing Company, and they have a wing challenge. You have to eat 12 of their hottest wings in 15 minutes. I did it in 10. And that shit made me feel like I had no teeth.
I think I did it one time. I did the Buffalo Challenge one time when I was in the schoolhouse, but they brought it out like steaming hot. So it wasn't just spicy; it was like steaming hot.
The temp does
and
matter.
I was like, bro, why do y'all like that's cheating?
That's
Y'all make it out
matters.
stupid hot. So like when you bite into it, you're taking your time trying to blow it out. Pause.
Actually, yeah, because you
But,
both are
like-
from Jersey. You guys know what Cluck U is, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cluck U. You ever have their 911?
No, I will not.
I did it.
Cannot.
I did it. Yep. 911. You have to sign a waiver and all.
Yep.
They usually give you a little carton of milk with it too.
I
Me
think-
and my buddies drove from my home right across the bridge, right into Trenton, New Jersey, and went to the Cluck U there, and we did the 911 challenge thing. It was hot. It
Yeah.
definitely. My buddy turned about as red as like Santa Claus would during the holiday. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll tie it in too with the holiday. We got my wife put this tree up. I don't really fuck with the holiday too much. The Grinch a little bit, but that comes from my own things.
Yeah, me too.
What's your favorite holiday dish now? So since you're a cook, maybe it's something that you make or something that somebody in your family's made you, and you're like, that sticks with me. Like that is a staple in my holiday.
I mean, I'm not a big holiday person, to be honest. It's just
Okay.
not the day for me. I have like personal choices on that one, but I wouldn't say my favorite holiday. I have a seasonal meal that I miss when every time I go to the Bahamas. If I go home during the summertime, my aunt makes curry crab. Oh my god,
That sounds
it's
so
the
good.
best. Or like crab soup, curry crab, like crab soup. I'm like, oh my god,
That
that's
sounds so damn
the
good.
best part I love.
Damn.
So it's not a holiday meal, but it's a seasonal meal because crab comes out during the summer.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
they hunt and they catch them then. But it's just like, oh my god.
Now,
That's
how
the
often
best
do you go back to the Bahamas?
Honestly, it's usually for like a funeral or something. But like,
Damn.
I've been once in a while. I'm gonna try to go again. Actually, I went back home February for my best friend's wedding, so that's something positive. Yeah.
Alright.
So I went for my best friend's wedding. He finally got married. He was the one I seen. There's three of us. We all knew he was gonna get married first.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I was happy for.
Because
his
you
health,
looked in the
though.
mirror and you were like, it ain't me. yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
I ain't there yet. So.
No, that's good though. That's good. So like I said in the beginning, we'll transition. So throughout all your accolades between the sword, being a drill instructor, being where you're at in your military career now, was there a point where you were at an all-time low and you were like, dude, I don't know what's gonna get me out of this? And if you could describe like that low a little bit in the best terms that you have, to just give you backstory, to make it a fair playing field, I'd say. My all-time low is I lost all three of my family members in under a year. And I think this was something.
talked about that. That's how we first
met.
met.
Yeah. So that's how we kind of connected. We've had other guys talk about. We had a comedian on here a couple weeks ago. He talked about like his low being like alcohol, getting wrapped up in it, making some poor life choices, and luckily he had like supportive friends and stuff. Really get him out there. So if you could, Andrew, take us through, around what time frame it was, what was going on, and yeah.
Damn. I think I hit two of my biggest lows, which right now I'm finally like getting out of the second one, but it's pretty much when my sister passed. Like we talked about, like, so my mom died when I was 2. She died on Christmas Day, by the way. That's why I use that day to kind of like, hey man, like I don't like to be negative, but like, hey, happy holidays, enjoy. But so my mom passed when I was 2, and then my sister passed in 2020, and when I was in a drill field. So that was an all-time low. Like I'm talking about, like I thought I was doing fine because it was during COVID too. It was pretty bad. So like it was hard traveling, and when I finally went back home, I was stuck in the Bahamas for about 30 days because at the same time the George Floyd riots were happening, and the whole time I didn't realize that I was just drinking up a storm, and then I was just like drinking, and then I'd go back. I got back, and then they finally put me in cycle, and then I'd finish like a whole bottle of Crown when I was off, and I'd go back into work the next day and just freaking just do me.
You think you were
and
drinking to
train.
forget? Or drinking to numb?
Yeah, pretty much drinking to numb because like I'd sit down and have time to think and I'd just be like, I don't want to think about this shit. So I just drink and then go to sleep. And then but yeah, because the reason why I joined the Marine Corps was because my sister was in the Bahamas and she had a master's degree. She knew 5 different languages. She was too qualified to be home, and I wanted her to come to America where she can expand her horizon and do better. So I was like, hey, you're gonna come live with me. My dad was also in a homeless shelter at the time. I came to America to find him because I knew my dad. I lived with him in New York for 7 years, but when I was in the Bahamas, I kind of like lost contact with him. But I knew he was stupid sick. It was pretty bad. And then he was like living in a homeless shelter. He's on dialysis, walking to the hospital. He'd walk back, lose his bed because he had to sign up for a certain time. So my goal in the Marine Corps, like my first, not the whole time I was at Miramar, I was like, I'm gonna do what I need to get my sister a green card and get my dad living with me, like somehow. But then the whole dependency thing, trying to pay over 50% of his bills. He didn't have any bills. Anytime I went to the shelter to try to get him, yeah.
I feel that. That was my mom, but
Yeah.
continue. I apologize.
No, you good, brother. So yeah, that happened, and then my sister was like, she finally hit me up. Was like, hey, I got diagnosed with cancer, but I'll be fine. And I always try to stay positive about it. And I was just like, hey, I'll do what I can. But again, I was like, let me get her to America, get her under me, so I can get her these military benefits. Try to get her back on her feet. Did whatever I could, but everything happens for a reason. It was her time to go. But so yeah, she went in 2020, and dad put me through a very very low time. It was like bad. So like I didn't when I was in the Bahamas, I was fine. I was taking care of business, taking care of her affairs, handling shit, and it didn't hit me until I got back home to my apartment, and that's when I was like bawling in tears, like on the floor. And again, I lived alone. I had nobody. I'd post on Instagram once in a while. People would be like, "You're good," and I was crying so hard one night to the point where my neighbors came upstairs. I was like, "We can hear you crying through the floor. Like, are you good?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Damn.
Going through it, and I had friends trying to pick me up, but I think my thing is just I had to stay. I think like I said, everything happens for a reason. So growing up, certain things that happened in my life, I was always trying to figure out how to get myself out of it. Always trying to like stay strong minded. I've never been the type of person to be like, you know what, this is it, I'm gone. It's just like, hey, what do I need to do to get myself out of it? So I've always fought my battles, and then God has always put certain people in certain places to always help me get out of it.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was in a relationship, and then my ex didn't like the drinking, so I cut back on that. So just to make her happy, I was like, hey, she doesn't like the drinking, she's uncomfortable with it. To make her, if it makes her happy, I'm gonna stop. But eventually, it helped me stop drinking as well. So it slowed that down. Well, whatever. That relationship ended, and then my old man had passed, and then that's when I was like, all right, I don't want to drink because I already know the rabbit hole I'm gonna go down again.
It probably would have been worse that second time.
Yeah, it would have been worse.
It would have been worse.
Yeah, because I had my sister's at the
Smartest thing you
time.
could have done.
Yeah, bro. At the time, I had my sister's ashes and my dad's ashes in my house.
Damn.
And I was going through it to the point where even at work, I had to tell I went in my office's thing, and I was like, hey, sir, like, I'm going through it. Like, I'm not there. And then he was like,
but we applaud you for that.
Yeah.
Discreetly, whether we knew you or not, because that's the piece that people forget. They forget that you can speak up and you can say something. And it's hard as dudes. And I always bring this up, like, dudes are not good at it, but you stopping to drink, like, take that minute where you're like, I could pick up the bottle and do this all over again. Let's go round 2 again. The smartest thing you could have done was not. So, hats off to you, brother, because that's not easy. And for what you've been through, that speaks volumes. And like I said in the very beginning, and how we continue to drive this podcast, is that those small instances where somebody's like, damn, I would have never taken that small minute in time.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause for a minute. People wouldn't think for that small minute in time to take a step back, know yourself. And I mean, it kind of goes with like Marine Corps principle, like know yourself and seek self-improvement. Yeah. But like knowing yourself and like being like, all right, dude, let's do this a little differently. So what was one of those things that really propelled you out of those ruts? Was it like physical fitness, getting in the gym again? Was it those friends? Was it like somebody that really stuck out? You know how you said God puts people in certain places and you're like, you may not know why, but then you're like, that was the reason why.
Yeah.
What got you out of that?
A lot of it was friends. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, like some people were put in my life to help me at the time. Like my boy Gary Leo, again from the drill field. That dude, when I was at I went stupid broke when my sister, I had to go to the Bahamas and take care of my sister's affairs, and in California rent was high, so
Yep.
when they increased my rent from like 1975 to 2200, and I told my boy, I called him, I was like, hey bro, I don't know what to do, I can't live here. I don't know. I'm gonna be living like paycheck to paycheck. I was already negative days. I didn't even know you could do that in the Marine Corps, but I was negative 12 days because they charge you for emergency leave. I hate that. I feel like every Marine
Dude.
should get 10 days, hands down. If you have emergency leave,
Oh,
give that Marine an automatic 10 days, and then hopefully he can handle his affairs. Anything after that, yes, charge that Marine. But for me to like
Yep.
take all my leave,
I'm about
bro,
to drop a crazy stat
that
on
is
you.
wild.
So my brother committed suicide 2019. My dad died 2019. My mom died 2020. All within 10 months. I was negative 38 days in the hole.
Yeah, bro.
I finally, like as of
Yeah.
last year, finally in positive days. I have fought. So I got interviewed to be the color sergeant of the Marine Corps at one point when I was motivated and looked good, didn't look like an upside down ice cream cone. Anyway, got interviewed because everybody's like, dude, character phenomenal, mentality phenomenal, influence great, whatever. Got interviewed. I made it into the top 5 for the interviews, the final interviews. And they asked me, I had the general's aide call me, the commandant's aide call me, and was like, hey, we got to discuss, and this was like over FaceTime. If there was one thing in the Marine Corps, what could you change? Now this was before the tattoo policy. And I said, well, to be honest, sir, I said, I got to keep it real, that's who I am. We need to change the tattoo policy. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me right now, dude? Like, that's what you're putting out there? And I was like, that's like my joke one. That was my joke one. Now that they did it, I got what I wanted. But anyway, at the time, that wasn't a thing. So I joked. I said, all right, fine. You want my real answer? Why do we charge Marines for emergency leave? We didn't ask for someone to die.
Yeah.
We didn't ask for that.
So wild.
You think I wanted my brother to commit suicide?
Yeah.
No, because then I would have been in his ear egging it on.
Yeah.
Like, you think I wanted my mom to pass from cancer in hospice? Fuck no. Did I ask for those leave days? Absolutely not. But should I get them? Yes. Should they charge me? Fuck no. That is the most ridiculous thing that I've heard about in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Same thing as like, had to go from Hawaii back to Philly for my brother. And they were like, oh, Red Cross Message pays for your ticket. Be careful with that.
Yeah.
We only paid to the closest port. So my ticket was only purchased one time from Hawaii to Cali.
Yeah.
I had to pay for the rest. That means from Cali to Philly, Philly back to Hawaii. I had to pay for it.
Yeah.
How was it? And then I had to go talk to my mom, who couldn't even get words out of her mouth that her oldest son just committed suicide.
Yeah.
And then I'm still giving back my days of leave. Insane to me. I'm so happy that you brought that up because I've been preaching that for the longest time of like, why do we do that? But yet we're going to let people walk around with fucking beards now and not talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I could get going on a rant. But
Yeah, I know. But no,
I feel you
friends,
for that. Go ahead.
friends helped me. Gary Leo, my boy Rashad Drayton, and then my boy Barkham Hall. They all went through
Those
their
are
own.
some solid names, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of names.
Yeah,
They
the
all-
Gary Leo name is
Dude, the
like,
Gary Leo,
Yeah,
what you said?
I'm telling you,
Barkham Hall?
Yeah, Barkham Hall and
Bro.
then Rashad Drayton.
Barkham Hall is a linebacker in the NFL. Dude, yo, my man fucking dropping
he's a
bodies up the A-gap, dude.
If you hear him talk, you'd think he's a linebacker, but he's a super tall, 6'2", freaking. He's a little stocky dude, but that's my boy, man. Like he went through a time in
Where's
his life.
Barkham Hall from? I gotta know.
From New York as well.
Dude,
My boy, man.
my man
Yeah.
is on the Baltimore Ravens. my man is a fucking a Buffalo Bill or a fucking Las Vegas Raider, dude.
Yeah.
That's what's up. My bad. Keep going.
Nah, you good. But yeah, my boy, they helped me. Because there was a time where I slipped up and had a bottle or two. And then I remember I was like passed out on my couch. And then my boy Drayton, he tried to call me. He was like, hey, brother, where's he called me. He called Hall. And he was like, hey, that dude's not answering his fucking phone. We're going to his house. And they're the only ones that know the pin to my house. They walked in. They saw me like pass out on the couch. Was like, wake your ass up. We're going to Texas Roadhouse. And I'm over there at Texas Roadhouse off Western. And I'm fucking throwing up. But they took me there. Got me back on my feet, and then me and Hall started doing stuff together. And then he's also going through therapy, so he went to his therapist. He gave me a list of things that his therapist gave him. So like I never went to physically talk to therapy, but I called like Military One Source, try to talk to people. It was kind of uncomfortable, but stuff that he did, I learned from him. And then we just started building this. We have a family group chat now, just people that we chop it up with and we joke around. We'll call
That's
the
legit.
Facebook group chat. So we pretty much keep each other all together. Like, so our lives are so separate. Like, we got so much things going on, but like sometimes we just come together. Like, they don't know it. It's just like just talking to them, be like, yo, like, you know, like I'm glad I got people that got my back. You know,
Oh yeah,
sometimes
dude.
fucking awesome.
it's
Friends,
just good to
friends
have
are
it.
something special,
Yeah.
man. Straight up, like I grew up with 10 of the best people I know. I was blessed in that, being raised by a single mom in the Philadelphia area. My mom worked 3 jobs as a single mom. My brother was in and out of rehab, jail, all his little things he had going on. So to have my friends,
Yeah.
that meant everything to me. Like, it took my wife forever to understand that, because she comes from a house. She's one of 7, and then both her parents in a nice neighborhood. So we're north and south. So like when I grew up, compared to how she grew up, a little different.
Yeah.
But there are definitely different dynamics that we bring to our kids now,
Yeah.
where we teach them those things. But yeah, friends are a true blessing.
Yeah.
The real ones, I should say. Like the
Yeah.
Barkham Hall, baby. That's what's up. Hey, it's
I
good
gotta
to
let him
hear
watch
that.
the podcast now. I'll be like, hey man, your name was mentioned too many times.
Bro.
So now you guys
Actually,
gotta come on
yeah.
the show, or you just gotta watch the podcast. Let them see who this legendary Barkham Hall
Yeah,
is.
hey.
He's a good dude, man. This dude I'm talking about, when I say drive, and then he's like, even today, like we just be talking about stuff like where we want to go in our careers, and he'd be like, yo bro, you need to do this, and I'm like,
What does he do?
I don't know. He's he just got promoted to Garrison, but he's about to go AMOI over to Morehouse.
Damn.
So he's going to Atlanta to be there AMOI. He was a prior drone instructor as well. So, but this dude, I'm talking about like intellectual. Like when you need somebody to be like, hey bro, it's annoying because sometimes I can tell, because he's that friend of everybody's go-tos. They're like, hey but I'm going through this. Like I need like somebody's thought process, and he'd be like, all right, here's what I'm gonna tell you. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is wrong. If I was you, I'd go down this avenue. I'll go down this avenue. This is how I would approach it. And everybody calls. I try not to bug him about that. Sometimes I just call him and chop it up. We talk about stuff. Like even right now, like with my cooking, like I was like, bro, here's my advanced culinary cookbook, bro. Do your thing, bro. Like we be doing stuff together. Sometimes like I'll call him, but like, hey, bro, I need advice on this, and he'll help me out. We just chop it up, man. Like he's a good dude.
Hey, that's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Barkham Hall, if you're ever listening, dude. Hey, when you gonna try out? When you gonna walk on for the NFL, bro? A name like that. Don't let that name go to fucking waste, bro.
Nah.
You'll be my #1 fantasy pick with a name like Barkham Hall, dude. How's he spelled? Do you know?
BARK. I'm not gonna fuck it up for him. Nah, I'm not gonna. I think it's BARK. Him. BARKHIM. If I'm not mistaken, he's probably about to cuss me out when he see this. He's like, hey dog, don't ever disrespect my name like that. You know what I'm
already
saying?
scared of homie. Don't
Yeah,
even know what he
hey.
looks like with a name like Barkham Hall, bro. That's
Yeah.
legit. Okay, so we'll keep this thing rolling. So you get out of your ruts, you get out of your lulls a little bit, and you're still going through it
Yeah.
time to time, and that's okay. So now you have we noticed your shirt earlier, and
Yeah.
we pointed out that this is what you've started. So take us through exactly what it is, what your goals are for it, and then we'll caveat. We'll caveat into
Can't let it go.
we'll move forward into your other goals, like things you talked about, like the things you messaged me. I don't want to steal all that thunder. I'll let you walk us through it. So, but start with the shirt and the apparel you got on. What's the drive behind that?
Well,
And what is it?
well, it's Island Aesthetic Fitness. It's pretty much like my personal training or like bodybuilding, like team. At that time, I was like, man, maybe one day I'll have a team, and I wanted to come up with a brand that one, I hate people that just put anything on a skivvy shirt and then try to sell it to the junior Marines. Like I feel like I get it. The military does have a good stepping stone, but like I feel like you're kind of extorting. To me, no jabs against anybody else that has stuff on a skivvy shirt, but I just say like I don't want it because I can show that I have a life outside of the military.
Yeah.
So
I
I
respect
can
that.
I can do my bodybuilding, I can do my personal training shit or my meal prep and stuff, and then have a business without having to lean so heavy on, hey guys, I'm a veteran or I'm a Marine. Like, hey man, look, I'm also an active duty Marine, but this is also what I do. Like there was a pro bodybuilder, Xavier Gaten, I think that's his name if I'm saying it right. He was a career planner, and I looked at him a lot, and I was like, man, this dude doesn't really post a lot of his Marine Corps stuff. But I know he's an active duty Marine. Like he was on deployment doing preps and stuff. But I kind of looked at that and like I wanted my business not to be so heavy military orientated.
Yeah.
So one, I had to use my own silhouette because I took it personal. Like, I hate to be that personal trainer where people be like, you're kind of out of shape, and you're like, you look like an ectomorph or a mesomorph, like, but then you look at you and you're like, bro, you just look fat. Like, nah, bro,
Wait,
not you.
you.
I'm just using it as an example, though. I'm just saying. But like personal trainers that come up to you, like like people that know, they'll like you'll be hanging out.
One up, baby.
Nah.
He didn't look at, hey, for the record, anybody watching, listening, he didn't look at me. He looked at JB, baby.
Nah, it's just those personal trainers that try to like
silhouette though, but full form. like I could just wear the silhouette, dude. That's legit, man. Yeah, if I put a silhouette on mine, they'd be like, "Are you sure you want this? You sure you want this printed right now?" It actually came out as just a blob. No, that's so cool. So Island Aesthetic Fitness.
Yeah,
that's legit.
And
people can buy the shirts right from you. Can they just hit you up on Instagram or what?
They can. I'm running out of shirts right now because it, like I said,
how
the
can
military.
How can people like let's help promote you a little bit? How can people contact you for like your programs? Because you also do you do like meal prep? Like you set them up like, hey, you need this, this, and this, or will like take us through like where you at in your goals?
Well, it's not heavily. That's what I'm saying because it's been so off and on. It's not heavily established yet.
Yep.
As far as like I just have the business created right now, but I haven't had the time to like no crap sit down and actually like help drive.
Well, yeah, you've also been going through your own trials and tribulations.
Yeah, so it's like every time I want to sit down and focus, like I was doing it. I started in Japan. I just made the shirts, and then when I was focusing on it, I was doing meal plans for people, and then I went to the drill field. That was 3 years of my life that I was focusing on. Then I came back a year of me being in the fleet, my own man pass, and then there was a lot of stuff going back and forth. So I don't have anything set in stone and established yet because now like I'm doing this whole cooking thing.
Well, let's start it up.
Yeah,
let's get it going. We're waiting. We hungry.
So I don't have a website. I don't have I just use my Instagram, my personal one, to be great 66 with like the number 2, not Toby, because I had it before. People were calling me Toby, and I was just like, I'm not Toby.
Let's say it slow, like it's number 2.
The number 2.
Be great.
Like be great 66.
Okay.
So
yeah, you heard it here.
Yep. So.
Hey, hell yeah! All right, so then some of those other goals that you have, I think you said to me you wanted to open your own restaurant.
Yes,
right?
I want to open my own restaurant, and then I'll hopefully a gym right next door. The plan is to like eventually have pretty much a business where there's no excuse to why you're not getting in shape, because literally right next door is a meal prepping business right next door that's attached to the gym. Not physically attached, obviously, because people get sweaty and stuff. But
have you ever heard of fusion gyms?
No, what's that?
So fusion gyms are like commercial gyms, right? Mm-hmm. One just opened up like in my hometown area where they have a restaurant in the gym. Mm. It's like, but it's kind of more of like a buffet bar kind of thing. Okay. No, it's like actual like a restaurant. You can sit in there and eat, watch sports, whatever you got going on. After your workout, these fusion gyms are insane. But anyway, so that's where I was thinking maybe you're going. But I like that you said you want to kind of put it out to the side. Just so you're not intertwining it completely, where people can just enjoy the restaurant. Yeah. Pretty much at a fusion gym, you're at the gym and then you're rolling into the restaurant.
Yeah, you got a bunch of sweaty people walking in and out.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I didn't ask for the fucking salad with a side of ass crack. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's legit. So what would your cuisine be? Like what's your style of your restaurant? What do you envision for yourself?
Well, I would have the simple meal preps for some people that need it, like the basic steak, the chicken, rice, brown rice, and then salads. But then also there would be like a 1,000-pound club gets 1,000-calorie burger or 1,000-pound burger, or like something like that. To challenge, like, hey, if you get 1,000-pound club in the gym, you come next door and show proof that you beat the 1,000-pound club challenge. You get like a 1,000-calorie fucking meal where it's like a big ass burger with like a cheat meal, and have like a big flashy cheat meal sign on the side where, hey, you can get this. But also, like, if you want to eat healthy and stick within your meals, you can also get this on the side. Because I remember times where I was doing my shows and I was out of meals, and I was like, God damn it, like I don't have anything to eat. So I'd run over to Chipotle and be like, hey, let me just get some white rice, or Panda, and I would let me get some white rice and some teriyaki chicken, no teriyaki, just the white rice and chicken. I'm like running far. I'm like, but instead of going right next door and then grabbing something.
No, that's legit. That's a really good idea. I like it. Have you thought of any names?
Not yet. Not yet. Maybe I don't know. Alan aesthetic
Hey.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, hit me up.
I don't want to
Creative,
put it
right
too
off
much
the
out
dome.
there. You got vultures out there, but like, oh, that's a good idea.
Oh,
Start
yeah,
writing
yeah,
things
yeah.
down and
Fucking
start
backup
taking my
vultures,
idea. Yeah.
That's legit, man. And then you also said, so the gym, the restaurant, and then you also said there was another one. Oh, God, I feel like a fucking idiot because oh, man, my phone's recording. God, it was like a, oh, my God. What am I trying to say?
Talk about my cooking.
Yeah, it's something to do with cooking. It's like almost like a culinary travel thing.
I wanted to, hopefully the military allow, but I've always wanted to learn how to do different types of cuisines from like the original places. So like if I go like for like 3 weeks, I could take like a pasta or Italian style cuisine course. I can do stuff here in America, but I was like, man, why not like try
Why
to
not
get
do
it
it where it's actually done?
There's actually
the right
opportunities in the military that would allow you to do it, but obviously situation dictates. Like one of the instructors at Advanced Culinary, he's like a master pastry chef. He's actually been an Olympic style on a culinary team for the military.
Yeah.
And they sent him to all these pastry schools in like Italy and Germany, and he was blessed with the opportunity to do that. I mean, situation dictates. I might not be able to get that. Maybe I got to go out of pocket and learn, but I try to do things here and there. On my own, like I know how to make 3 different, I know how to make Japanese curry, I know how to make Thai curry. Obviously, Caribbean curry was a given.
You can make some cocos.
Actually, yeah. So,
Ooh, some cocos, baby.
So right now,
level 10.
yeah.
Let's do it.
So I make actually I'm selling plates tomorrow of chicken cutlet, like Japanese style curry. So things that I'm good at making, I try to sell plates. So like right now,
If I bought one, you think if I put it under the tree it would last?
It's gonna look like the curry after a while.
I'm eating that
It's gonna
tonight.
merge.
Like, I'm eating that tomorrow night. Like,
Nah.
the minute I pick it up.
Is that a good breakfast meal?
No, it's a dinner meal.
Yeah,
like I sold plates of rasa pasta this last Sunday. I just trying to perfect my craft. Eventually, like when people see, if you look at my Instagram page, one of my bubbles is called Bone Apple Tea. I always post like the different food that I make, and like people will see and be like, "Yo, when are you gonna sell it? When are you gonna create a page?" Eventually, I'm gonna create a page. I just feel like I want to.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it.
Sit down and like once I perfect my craft a little bit more, then I'll establish myself. I just need to sit down and like no crap get it. Like I've been going through a lot of, I recently doing a mental health rehabilitation of myself. So I've been listening to more audiobooks. I just got done with 50 Cent's book, and I was like, man, I need to stop playing. Like the only thing that's literally stopping me is me. Like I can use the excuse of, man, my wife doesn't want me to do it, or man, my kids got to do this. I don't have that.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, bro, like while I have the opportunity, get it. Because when that wife and kid comes, man, I'm a provider, bro. That's going to be me. I need to make sure they're set up for success. So.
Yeah, shout out to my therapist because she was the one that got me to really get going on this podcast.
Yeah.
She listens to this.
She does listen.
Yeah.
I think it's because she's also taking notes on me again. She's like, dude, you gotta fucking stop saying that shit. No, but she's the one that sat there and told me straight up something that I didn't realize for the longest time. That I was my own critic. I was the only obstacle in my own way.
Yeah.
Like, because I was fretting for the longest time over like what chairs I wanted for my podcast. And she was like, what chairs do you actually want? And I was like, man, there's 2 chairs I found at this little vintage shop that remind me of my mom. And it's these ones that we're sitting in. Yeah. That like I could almost still smell like the old lady cigarette on it. So I was like, man, I love these chairs. And she was like, so get those ones. Who cares what the other people are doing? You're the only person in your own way right now. And you're fretting over the fucking chairs. So shout out Dr. Pace. Appreciate you, homie. Because she does listen to every episode. And again, I still think she's taking notes. She's actually been collecting on JP for a little bit.
Yeah,
she doesn't even know it. Or he doesn't even know it. No, that's, man, your story's awesome. First off, too, for all our lady viewers, all our lady listeners, hey, you got a real winner over here. My man's a physical fitness guru. He's got an illustrious career in the Marine Corps. You know what that BAH do, baby girl. And then on top of that, my man cooks. Where else are you finding this? Where else you find it? But we got it right here.
I gotta take care of myself. I gotta eat. Can't be buying food all the time.
Yeah, no, that's true. But hey, man, overall, great stories. We appreciate you being here. You sharing your lulls, your rise again, how you got out of there and still keep chugging along. It's phenomenal. because again, what you're saying here today and what you've said hopefully turns into somebody else's drive, somebody else's passion, somebody else's rebound, that they can, harness their inner hall, and get going on take things
inner Markham Hall.
Yeah, inner
I'm telling you,
Markham
man,
Hall,
that dude's a beast, bro.
yeah, smashing the A-gap, baby,
Yeah.
for the Las Vegas Raiders. But for real, thank you for being on the show. We're more than grateful to have you here, for giving up your time, giving up your stories, and sharing that stuff with us. Because again, it's not easy. We as people, we don't give ourselves enough credit when we actually step outside our bubble, and we start telling people what's really going on. Mm-hmm. So from myself and JP and all our viewers and listeners, thank you, Andrew, for sharing your stuff. And that wraps up this episode here on Stashed Away Thoughts. We had a great one with Andrew Smith Jr. here. Yep. Extraordinary in many things. Ladies, do not call him. We ain't giving out his phone number. But, another episode in the books. Stay tuned for more. This was Stashed Away Thoughts. Sick.